Fishing for Jacks, written by Michelle Dufresne, illustrated by Oksana Kemar-Seya. Chapter 1, Learning a New Game. Wednesday is my favorite day of the week. I usually spend Wednesdays after school with my grandfather, Pops. Pops was an investigative reporter who wrote stories for a newspaper. He traveled all over the world, and I only saw him on holidays. Now he's retired, and he lives just one block from my school. He says his new job is expanding my mind, so he often plans what he calls small adventures for our afternoons together. We've been to art museums and plays. He even took me on a ghost tour. When we don't go somewhere, we do something just as cool at his apartment. Once we made puppets, and then wrote and performed a play with them. Sometimes we do a cooking project. My favorite recipe is pudding with cherries. Yum. We never, ever watch TV. In fact, Pops doesn't even own one. As I walk down the sidewalk toward Pops' apartment, I wonder what is on our agenda today. Pops has a great big grin on his face when he opens his apartment door. "You're finally here," he cries. "I have something fun planned for today." I knew it. Maybe we are going to the aquarium. I love the aquarium. Pops hands me a small wrapped package. "Open it, Rebecca," he tells me, clapping his hands in excitement. It's a pretty small package to be that excited about. I peel off the wrapping paper. Inside is a discolored box with the word Jacks written on it. Jacks? I say, puzzled. I shake the box, and it makes a rattling sound. "Yes," said Pops. "I found these in an old box at the back of the closet. I didn't even know I still had them. They were mine when I was your age. I used to love playing jacks. Have you ever played?" I shake my head. Okay, so it's not the aquarium, or even a cool new recipe using marshmallows or something. I do love my Pops and our Wednesday appointments, but I am a little disappointed. I could have gone roller skating with Mindy Waltons. Instead, I get this weird game Pops played a million years ago. How much fun could that be? "I was great at this game," says Pops. "Come on, open the box, and I'll show you how it works." I sigh, but not aloud. That would be rude. It is a mental sigh. Pops has me empty the box onto the floor. A red rubber ball and some 6-pointed metal pieces tumble out. In all honesty, it looks like a game for a preschooler. "What are these?" I ask. "These are called jacks," says Pops. He tosses the ball into the air. Before it can hit the floor, he scoops one of the jacks into his hand. After the ball bounces, Pops catches it and drops the jack into his other hand. Then, he tosses the ball into the air again and scoops up another jack. After a minute, all of the jacks are in his hand. "I picked up the jacks one at a time," Pop says. "Once you get better, you can try 2 or 3 at a time." I try a few times. It's more complicated than it looks. Sometimes I bounce the ball too hard and it flies off and I can't catch it. Or it doesn't bounce hard enough and I can barely pick up one jack. Okay, maybe it is a bit fun and challenging in a weird kind of way. I keep trying until, woohoo! I pick up 3 jacks on one throw. "This is fun," I say to Pops. Pops laughs. "I know you love your video games, but sometimes it's fun to play an old-fashioned game from the days before we had all this technology." I laugh too. "Pops, someday you'll have to try a video game." Chapter 2, A Place to Play. I take my box of jacks home so I can practice. There were a few times when Pops picked up 6 jacks before the ball bounced. I need to practice so I can beat him next Wednesday. The next afternoon, when I get home from school, I start looking around for a place to play with my jacks. I need a large, flat surface. The kitchen table is too small. The ball might bounce off the table, but the kitchen floor will work. I sit down on the floor and empty the box. Mom comes into the kitchen and sees me with the jacks. "Oh," she says with a smile, "I remember playing that when I was little." "Pops found them in a box," I tell her. "He says they were his when he was my age." Mom shakes her head and says, "I'm not surprised. He doesn't throw anything out." I bounce the ball and grab 3 jacks as quickly as I can. "It's not as easy as it looks," I say as the ball hits the floor. "Nope, And I'm sorry I have to make it harder. I'm going to mop the floor. You need to find another place to play. Mom loves to clean. The floor looks spotless to me, but there's just no arguing with her. At least I don't have to mop it. Oh, okay, I say. I pick up the jacks and go into the living room. The carpeted floor won't work. In fact, the whole rest of the apartment has carpet. I decide to try outside. Chapter 3. The Storm Drain. When I get outside, I look around. The sidewalk is the perfect place. It's hard, flat, and wide. I sit on the cement and empty the box again. Tyler, who lives in the apartment above us, comes down the steps with his big black dog, Billy. They are both totally devoted to me. Billy yanks at his leash when he sees me. He scrambles towards me, barking, with his tail wagging wildly. "Billy," I cry, "watch out!" But it's too late. Billy crashes into the jacks and sends them flying. Several of them disappear into the storm drain in the street. "Billy, look what you did," I moan. "Pops gave me those." I can feel my face turning red. I know it's just a silly game, but they were Pops' old jacks. I try to keep my composure. I look at Tyler and say, "You need to control Billy better. Look what he's done. Pops just gave those to me. And they were his when he was a kid. They're like antiques or something." "Oh, sorry," says Tyler. He tugs on Billy's leash. Bad dog. Then he looks down at the remaining jacks and the ball. "What kind of game is it?" he asks. "Doesn't matter now," I snap. I blink back tears. No big deal, it's just a game, I keep telling myself. I look down at the storm drain. Half of it is gone. What am I going to tell Pops? Tyler peers down the drain. 5 of the jacks are at the bottom. "Oh boy," he says sheepishly. "Sorry." He tightens the leash as Billy dances around. Then Tyler begins to smile. "Hey, I think I have an idea," he says. Chapter 4. The Magnet. "What kind of idea?" I ask, feeling a little hopeful. Tyler is super smart. He's always inventing cool stuff. Our teacher, Mr. Baker, says Tyler is a problem solver. Tyler squats on the sidewalk and picks up one of the jacks. "These are metal," he mutters to himself. "Yeah, so?" I say. "Well, as long as there's some iron in these, we might be able to get them out," he says. "Can you hang on to Billy? I'll be right back." I take Billy's leash as Tyler runs off. Billy looks up at me with his tongue hanging out. I sigh and pat his head. "It's okay, I know you can't help yourself." Billy barks and wags his tail. Then he jumps to lick my face. "Stop," I cry. "Don't slobber on me. I haven't forgiven you yet." A few minutes later, Tyler is back. He is holding a small magnet and some string. "We'll fish for the, what do you call them? Jacks. And I'm going to try to snag them with the magnet and pull them out of the drain." "Great idea," I say. Mr. Baker is right. Tyler is a problem solver. "Well, the idea will work only if the jacks contain iron," Tyler explains. Sometimes things look like metal, but they aren't really. Or if they're copper or something else. They won't stick to a magnet. Let's test one and see." I cross my fingers. Please have iron. Tyler lowers the magnet into the drain. We hear one of the jacks jump toward the magnet. "Let's go fishing," says Tyler. We walk over to the grate. Tyler lowers the magnet down by the string. When it reaches the bottom, he jiggles the string to swing the magnet toward one of the jacks. Click. The jack snaps to the magnet. "You got it," I shout. Billy barks and thumps his tail. "I still have to get it out of there," says Tyler. He slowly pulls the string out of the grate. He pulls the jack off the magnet and hands it to me. "Want to try?" he asks. "Sure." I take the string and lower the magnet back down the drain. One by one, we pull the jacks out of the drain. We did it! Okay, Tyler is officially the greatest. Well, not the greatest. If Tyler had taught Billy to obey him better, this never would have happened. But I will remember this trick. This isn't the first time I've lost something down a drain. I smile at Tyler and say, "Now I can teach you how to play. It's super fun." "Okay," says Tyler. Billy barks. He is ready to play too. "Oh no, Billy," I say to the dog. "Sorry, you can't play." "Tyler, can we please tie Billy up? It was fun fishing for jacks, but the real game is much better."